Good morning. I am Chaplain Ann Weaver. Many of us on campus are deeply grieving the death of Teffy Landman, Director of Dementia Friendly Experience. Perhaps some of you only met her briefly, or maybe you did not have the chance to meet her at all. Whether you have met Teffy or not, for 2+ years, she has been transforming our culture and the way we partner with people who have a dementia experience. I am grateful that on Monday, August 10, residents gathered in West Bethany Chapel to grieve together. And an hour later, in East Bethany Chapel, team members gathered to remember our colleague. We do respect the family's request for privacy at this time. And yet I hear from many residents and team members the desire to have some kind of service to mourn her death and give thanks for her life. Our community treasures public services where we learn more about someone's life, acknowledge the Spirit of God at work in the person, and release our loved one into the providential love of God. A few team members are charged with creating a time for our community to honor Teffy. So stay tuned for those details as we make the plans public to you. But this morning I want to share with you honestly about how I am walking through the shadow of Teffy's death. And I hope that by me sharing how I'm experiencing it, maybe it will give you some ideas for how to grieve her death, or maybe even someone else's death, when we don't gather quickly all together in a community form. Well, I'm grateful that my pastor reached out to me last week and offered to meet with me to give me pastoral care. And it was a precious hour of her asking me questions and reflecting on how I was grieving. She encouraged me to plan my own ritual, she called it, a time where I could remember Teffy and then release her sooner than later until our collective service occurs on campus. I thought about the children of Israel when they were carried away into Babylon, an experience they didn't want. So much weeping and grieving as they missed their homeland. So much remembering what they treasured about Jerusalem and the memories of when they were together. Listen to Psalm 137 from the New International Version. This is a psalm of lament of when they were carried into captivity. By the rivers of Babylon we sat and wept when we remembered Zion. There on the poplars we hung our harps. For there our captors asked us for songs. Our tormentors demanded songs of joy. They said, "Sing us one of the songs of Zion." How can we sing the songs of the Lord while in a foreign land? If I forget you, Jerusalem, may my right hand forget its skill. May my tongue cling to the roof of my mouth if I do not remember you. If I do not consider Jerusalem my highest joy. Remember, Lord, what the Edomites did on the day Jerusalem fell. Tear it down, they cried, tear it down to its foundations. Daughter Babylon, doomed to destruction. Happy is the one who repays you according to what you have done to us. Happy is the one who seizes your infants and dashes them against the rocks. This is not an easy psalm to read out loud or to even think about. The emotions are so strong and violent. And yet it helps me to hear their pain and their suffering, to acknowledge my own. Then a chorus came to my mind. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down and wept as we remembered Zion. I decided that my private ritual of remembering Tephi would be by a river. I knew that we were going to Jim Thorpe this past weekend and that we could visit a stony beach at the bend of the Lehigh River. So on Friday morning, my husband and I went for a long run on the rail trail along the river. And I remembered Tephi while I ran. And when the run was over, we went down to the rocky beach along the river to pray and remember. I found a heart-shaped rock which symbolized Tephi, and I placed her on the ground. And I picked up other rocks, and as I laid them down, I would remember the person who was grieving or the group of people that were grieving Tephi. And I set them down all around her and on top of her. I admit I sobbed each time I picked up a rock and laid it down, feeling the pain of our separation from Tephi. When I felt like I had named all the individuals and groups that came into my heart, one by one, I threw each of those rocks back into the river. Hearing the loud plunk was strangely comforting. I felt like God was receiving and holding my grief and the grief of others. Finally, the heart-shaped rock was alone at the river's edge. I wanted to let it there. Then I wanted to bring it home with me. But the Spirit nudged me to release Tephi's rock into the river as well. I mustered all my strength to throw the stone out into the middle of the river where the rapids whooshed by. Sometimes life is beyond our control and things happen that we never, ever, ever wanted to happen. Where our knowledge and strength falls short, our strong, gentle Creator continues what we cannot. As I walked away from the river, I stood up taller and I breathed deeper than I had in 6 days. I knew the ritual of naming and releasing Tephi was healing for me. And I began to hum the spiritual as I went down to the river to pray, studying about that good old way. And who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way. So in closing, I just invite you to find ways as individuals and as a community to name all of our griefs, all of our sorrows, and to give thanks for what we have gained from loving Tephi or anyone else for whom you're grieving. God is in the grieving. God is life, and God is love, and God continues to create. We will continue our dementia-friendly efforts, and we will continue to love and serve one another. I will close with a prayer by John Philip Newell from his book, Celtic Benediction. Hope and fear, laughter and tears have been part of our journey. Joy and pain, longing and doubt meet on the pathway. Often we do not believe, O God, and sometimes we doubt that your promises can be true. Grant us and our world the freedom to laugh, the courage to cry, the heart to be open, and the faith to believe. Amen.